holding on a little bit to stay and listen. Hope everyone's having a really great day. I've kind of had a long one. I picked up a stray dog on the way out here on Highway 44, and she's in my car, so I've been taking care of her. So it's been kind of an interesting day for me. What I'm here to talk to y'all about today is states' rights and state sovereignty and the 10th Amendment and some solutions that we can come to with regards to all the problems that we're facing. In order to understand our solutions here, we have to understand the way our country was formed, first and foremost. We were designed as a union of sovereign states. That means 13 different colonies came together with their own constitution, their own set of laws, and they said, we are going to work together on these very specific things. And we are going to create a very limited federal government. In fact, if you read the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, this little tiny book right here, they're giving them away for free, I recommend you grab one. It says, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to it by the states are reserved to the states respectively or to we the people. That means if we did not give the federal government the power, they don't have it. It is ours.
That's right. That's what I was taught.
If you want to look a little closer, just to be certain about the intent of the sovereignty of our state, this is the Missouri Constitution. Not as small, a little bit thicker, but it does have a very long Bill of Rights. We are very well protected in this state. If you read Article 1, Section 4 of the Missouri Constitution, it states, quote, that Missouri is a free and independent state subject only to the Constitution of the United States. So if there's any doubt in your mind whatsoever, the 10th Amendment to the Constitution says that we are sovereign states. Article 1, Section 4 of the Missouri Constitution says we are a sovereign state. That means that all of this legislation, all of these laws being passed at the federal level, they don't have to apply to us. And there's one beautiful little word that is our ticket to stopping all of this. It is called nullification. When you go through the state legislature, you have the ability to nullify federal legislation. Now, we've been working on that here in the state of Missouri. Just last spring, the Real ID Act, which was passed by our federal government in 2005, it required that all states get a federal driver's license. It also said that in those licenses, they will have a retinal scan or a thumbprint. This is the federal government requiring biometric information to be stored in a federal driver's license. Well, folks here in Missouri said that is absolutely unacceptable. And so what we did was we created a nullification bill that went through the House, through the Senate, passed unanimously in the Senate, and we do not have to comply as Missouri citizens with that.
There you go.
Now that's just one example. There have been over 25 states that have passed such legislation. There is also HCR 13, which made it through the House, and just like the fair tax bill, it's stuck in Senate committee, but that is pure 10th Amendment legislation. It's a resolution, which means it does not hold the force of law, but you can equate it similar to a cease and desist order that a landlord would give to a non-paying tenant. You don't come in and start packing up their house before you let them know, pay up or pack up because I'm coming and changing the locks. Well, this HCR 13 is our opportunity as the state of Missouri to send a message to the federal government. Pay up or pack up because we're changing the locks. The Supreme Court has upheld this idea. This is a book right here called The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope, written by Sheriff Richard Mack. He's a sheriff out of Arizona. Now, in Mack Pence versus the federal government, Sheriff Mack took on the Brady Bill with Second Amendment defenses, saying that the federal government cannot come in and impose legislation like the Brady Bill upon the citizens of his state. And in fact, I'll read you a quote from his book. On June 27, 1997, the Supreme Court ruled that the Brady Bill was in fact unconstitutional and that the federal government could not commandeer state or county officers for federal bidding. Let me read that again. The Brady Bill was in fact unconstitutional and that federal government could not commandeer state or county officers for federal bidding.
Yeah.
Now, what report that was issued last spring calling everyone here crazy, radical, potential domestic terrorists. Well, those are coming from the Department of Homeland Security, who has done a really good job of snaking their way into our local and state law enforcement. The report that came out of Missouri came out of an institution called the Missouri Information Analysis Center. That is a fusion center. That word fusion tells you exactly what it is. It's a fusion of intelligence between local, state, and federal law enforcement. That means the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, Missouri State Highway Patrol, your local law enforcement, your city police, are all sharing information with each other to combat terror. And then they're drafting reports that say people who vote for Ron Paul, Chuck Baldwin, Bob Barr, people who are pro-life, people who are pro-gun, people who are conservative or libertarian or threats to law enforcement. See where this is going? The federal government, DHS, has embedded themselves into our law enforcement and are training them that people who think outside of the box, people who think that we don't need the federal government to control every gosh darn part of our life, that we are threats to them. Well, that's where the 10th Amendment comes in. Because see, we do have some really neat state reps and state senators in Jefferson City. Representative Jim Guest out of northern Missouri. Representative Brian Nieves out of Washington, Missouri. And Senator Lemke, who is over toward St. Louis. These are people who are all working to protect us. And one of the things they are going to be introducing, actually Jane Cunningham will be introducing in the spring, a nullification bill against national health care. So what that means is that it will not apply to Missouri citizens.
Yeah.
So see,
Right.
this can work in very constructive ways. But what that means for everyone here is that you have to be willing to roll your sleeves up. You've got to be willing to take some days off work, because I need you there with me in Jefferson City. I need you there testifying in committee hearings. I need you knocking on state reps' doors. And I need you letting them know how you feel. Because they are more powerful than the federal government. They just don't know it. And because they're not exercising it doesn't mean they're bad people. What I have learned over the past year of being involved with this is that they honestly don't understand how much power they have. So if we want to take the power back, we have the ability to do it. And the 10th Amendment, Article 1, Section 4 of the Missouri Constitution, they provide to us the answers. My name is Catherine Bleish. I am the Executive Director of the Liberty Restoration Project, which has chapters in Kansas City and St. Louis. If any of you all are interested in getting involved, we have people who meet us in Jefferson City from all over the state. We work with organizations from all over the state. And what we are trying to do is teach people and elected officials about how much power they do have and effective ways of using that power. So if you want to get involved, I would love to have you. You can come up and talk to me when I'm done, because I think I might be the last speaker. So I really appreciate you all coming out here today. We do have the power, and it is up to every single one of us to utilize it. So nullification, 10th Amendment, Article 1, Section 4 of the Missouri Constitution. Pick it up, read it. Thank you guys.
Yay, Catherine! Yeah, very good. Glad they kept it. Did we get your phone number? Good job.
I think it was very good.